Howdy, neighbors. David here. And today on Boondock Stallions, we're going to be talking about The Shining for our 31 Days of Horror, Day 15. But before we get started, go ahead and give this video a like or a dislike and subscribe to the channel. And get ready because we are down to 15 days left until Halloween when I give out my big cash giveaway for my subscribers. All you have to do is say I subscribed and hit the subscribe button down below. So, The Shining. Now, this movie is an interesting one because it's controversial because of the opinions of Stephen King, and I'm gonna talk about that, and then we're gonna get into my theory about it. But I love the movie. I love the book more, and I mean, I know it's cliche to say that the book is better than the movie, but I mean, the fact of the matter is, the book is better than the movie, and Stephen King has said so on many occasions. And I know a lot of people said he changed his position on that, but he only changed his position on that because he needed the rights to The Shining so that he could make his TV movie. Which, while the special effects aren't nearly as good as they are in the Jack Nicholson movie, was more true to the book and was a really good watch with Steven Weber as Jack Torrance and Cortland Mead, if you don't remember Aha from the Little Rascals movie, playing his son. Now, Stanley Kubrick's movie The Shining, it took its own it did its own thing. It changed the ending. First of all, let's talk about the ending. I hate the ending, and I'm not putting a spoiler warning out on this one simply because that movie is like 40 years old. If you haven't seen it or know how it ends, that's your fault for slacking on good horror movies. But it changed the end of the book. I mean, through the whole book, it sets up this beautiful ending where Jack breaks through the spell that the house has on him and decides to save his wife and son. He has one last heroic act, and that act is to get them out of the hotel while he tries to get downstairs to stop the boiler from exploding. He doesn't succeed. The boiler explodes and blows the hotel to high hell, and there is nothing left of it. And then when you get to the Dr. Sleep sequel, they haven't rebuilt the hotel. It's just been paved over and is now this view from the top of the world kind of tourist spot where you can go and stand where the Overlook Hotel was and enjoy the beautiful Colorado mountain view that surrounds you. Still sounds like a pretty good moneymaker, even though the hotel is gone. But they took all of that out, and Jack died in the snow as a villain instead of getting his little redemption arc that he got in the movie, and in the book, and I am still a little salty about that, but no worries. So in the books, you find out that Danny isn't the only one with The Shining. Jack has it himself and his father before him. And you find out that it does tend to pass down through the family generations. And Jack didn't have anybody to teach him like, his son did. He didn't have anybody to teach him what The Shining was or what psychic ability was or how to deal with it or how to use it and how to make it work. And due to him just trying to silence the voices in his head that he didn't understand, he became an alcoholic, and it led to that whole story arc that we get in. It's there in the movie. You don't know the history behind it unless you've read the book. And so they don't even mention that Jack has The Shining. It's all about Danny having it. And what people don't realize is that it is the fact that Jack has these abilities that the house is able to manipulate this and turn him into the vessel which they drive to do all of these murderous acts, like with Grady. And side note, the thing with Grady, the two twins, those are not Grady's daughters. I know a lot of people think that they're Grady's daughters, but the fact of the matter is they did keep the dialogue from the book the same. And when Jack's boss explains to him that Grady murdered his wife and two daughters, aged 9 and 11, that they were not identical twins. So the two girls that were murdered in the hotel are probably murdered by somebody else from another time when, the hotel drove somebody crazy to kill somebody and it was less publicized. So the hotel is turning all these people into murderers. Now, all of this is left out of the movie, and in the movie, there's no real clear reason other than cabin fever that explains what's driving Jack insane. I mean, you could just assume the house is haunted and the house is doing something, but this is all speculation and guesswork, as it doesn't actually tell you what happened. But this is where my theory comes in. You see, I heard a rumor somewhere on the internet that Jack was gay and that's why he hated his family and murdered them. And while I thought about it, I'm like, that seems awfully vague. What's your evidence? And it was just one piece of evidence. But then as I was watching the movie, I had that little thought in the back of my head was, is he gay? And so as I'm watching it from beginning to end, Jack is never really the happy family man. He really dislikes his family. I mean, he's never really kind or pleasant or fun or, hey, it's dad kind of with them. He's just kind of cold and distant. And he's very angry when he answers questions or explains things to his wife. The same with his son. He doesn't have a lot of patience for any of them. He's just very short and distant from them the entire time with absolutely no warmth and happy moments where they're all smiling and laughing and having those great experiences before the murders start. It's just Jack snapping at his family through the whole movie for no reason. And then while he's in the hotel waiting for his bosses to come and get him to give him the final tour before they leave, he is sitting there reading a Playgirl. Now, I know he didn't bring the Playgirl with him, but he saw it, grabbed it, and went through it. And why would you be going through a Playgirl if you're not some kind of gay? I mean, I curious question. I mean, if you don't like looking at naked men, why would you go through a magazine with naked men, right? Right. So then it hit me, yeah, Jack could totally be gay and resentful towards his family because maybe Wendy was supposed to be a beard at some point. And the fact that they changed, I'm not trying to say that Shelley Duvall is unattractive. She's a very lovely woman, but the way she's written in the book, you would expect a more supermodel type girl to be Jack's wife. And it feels like this was just a date while he was in college and he was just out with this girl. He got her pregnant, then he married her, and this was his for show family to keep him far inside the closet. And as the years went on, the alcoholism was caused by him being in the closet for over 40 years and not coming out and having a wife and having a kid and not being able to be himself. And then the hotel is feeding in on all of this and it's driving him insane. And what's killing me is the whole time I'm watching the movie, it's like his family is just holding him back. The house has convinced him that his family is holding him back and he can be this great writer and be anything he wants while he's there in the hotel. I mean, the happiest times you see Jack Torrance in that movie is while he is interacting with other dudes. Like the whole time. It's like he's smiling and friendly and hey and being all cool and suave and Jack Nicholson badass. And then he's with his wife and it's like, look, when I'm in this room typing, I need you to get out and leave me the fuck alone. Like he really hates his family. And so I was thinking, yeah, if I were in the closet for that long, I'd probably hate my fake family too. It's not their fault, but it also isn't technically my fault. And like I'm bi, so I'm not trying to preach anything homophobic or push a gay agenda or anything like that. This was just a thought I had from hearing a rumor on the internet, watching the movie myself, and giving my own insights on it. And while it's a much weaker idea than what was written in the book version of Jack's Descent into Madness, it is an interesting one nonetheless to explore for the movie. But what do you guys think? Let me know what you think down in the comments. I'm sorry if my thumbnail seemed a little clickbaity, but I do like clickbait. And let me know what your thoughts are on clickbait. I've seen many people respond negatively to clickbait on Facebook and Instagram. They're like, oh, it's clickbait. But as a YouTuber and somebody on Instagram, like I want the thumbnail to be interesting. It should be bait to get you to click it. And there are two responses to clickbait, the two appropriate responses to clickbait. One, ooh, I'm genuinely interested in this clickbaity thing. Let me click on it and see if there's any validity to the statements being presented to me here now. Two is, well, let's see what fresh bullshit they've got for me here to read and laugh at and make fun of and be like, ha, 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 that's never going to happen. We got this covered.com, LOL. But I'm actually pro clickbait. So let me know what you think. Be excellent to each other and party on, dudes.